Yo, look at all these people in here immediately. Hello, hello. What is up, my friends? Mike, Jones, Mahari, Javino, Zacho, Collecting Crap Figure Fan, Death and a Black Hole, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend. Everyone is here. How is everyone doing tonight? Today's custom, we're going to continue working on this bad guy right here. Just got home from work, so I made myself some tea, some water, put some tunes on. I am ready to paint. Let's get to it, boys and girls. Never better, Black Hole. Thank you, my friend. If there's ever any Marvel knowledge you ever need, go to a black hole. Well, like the black hole, not a black hole. A black hole might not be very helpful, but the black hole here in the chat will be very helpful. Hold on. Technically only 2 minutes late, Zacho. I went live at 11:32. You have Parker luck. Hey, well, Parker has good luck eventually, you know. You would be correct, Black Hole. This is a spawn torso. I was telling chat. I think you weren't able to be very active in chat last week or in the stream at all. I know you're dealing with some stuff, so hopefully everything's better. But I was talking about how you and I were talking about the artist proof spawn we're going to trade for hopefully eventually, and I was showing him this paint job I did and how it would look really good on spawn. So yeah, you ain't making nothing, Zacho. Sorry, that was hostile for no reason. Agent Venom. I remember when you just got your two. Yeah, we just hit 7,070 last I checked, And I didn't mention it in Discord yet, but I noticed earlier today that my maximum Spidey custom video is the first long form video I've made to hit 4-digit views. Last time I checked, we had just over 2,000, which is huge because my long form videos were stuck in like the 250 to 500 view range. And we finally broke into the thousands. We just need that to happen like a lot more times, and then I can get monetized. Modern Wall, it is my take on Agent Venom. You've been working on some different Spider-Man stuff, Mike? I must have missed it. You said you put it in the artwork channel? I'll have to check it out. And Black Hole, I was mostly talking about like how good like this black came out. It probably doesn't pick it up as good on camera, but I did black. I painted because this was originally like maroon, this figure, so I painted it black, and then I did a blue dry like blot and brush like where I wanted it to be, like bluish, kind of like that bluish Venom look. And then I did a light gray dry brush, and then I did black over it again. So I added like really nice layering here on this texturing. And so I was like, oh, this, and you know, when the like this Spawn-esque logo was still white before I painted it red, I was like, damn, this would look really good on like a Spawn, just like a straight up Spawn figure. I often will try something new and surprise myself. That's why I think, you know, it's when people ask me for advice, you know, I feel like I bring up like the same like 4 topics every time I go live, so I apologize in advance. But often when people ask me like, oh, you know, how do I get into customizing? Where do I start, this and that? It's like, you know, there's some good basic stuff to start off on, and I try to always like put people onto that. But outside of that, you just kind of got to do stuff, because I just learned different techniques over the years, watching different people, watching, like I say, every single stream now feels like just watching different people that are outside of your normal line of work. Like, oh my God, that was almost really bad. You know, I watch a lot of miniature painters, and I watch a lot of Gunpla, and like they have far different approach to paint than like your average like 1/12 scale painter and everything. But there's a lot of things I've learned that are really cool that you know, it still don't apply to everything. Every project's gonna have its different things. But this like technique in general, I kind of learned from Can I Make It, who makes amazing customs on here. I'm sure a lot of you guys have watched his stuff by now. And just that like dry brush technique to like paint something one color and then slowly like progressively make the color lighter. It just really adds this depth that I do on like most of my projects now. I did on the Doom, on the Tunic and stuff, and the camera won't catch it very well, but it makes a huge difference. And so it's just like silly little things like that you learn over time that really make all the difference. Need a custom nail clipper? Are you saying my nails are too long? I keep my nails super short. Modern Mall, thanks for subscribing, man. Flash Thompson, yeah. Yeah, it's Flash. Yep. Yeah, I have no reason to alter that. That makes the most sense to me. The most iconic. Who else has been Agent Venom? Has literally anyone else? Uh, has anyone else even been Flash? Again, I'm sorry. Has anyone else been Agent Venom besides Flash? I admitted last week when we started working on this custom, I don't know a ton about Agent Venom besides that he like looks cool. I have the amazing Yamaguchi one, but I truly don't know a lot about Agent Venom. So, but as far as I know, oh yeah, Mike sent me a lot of info about him, and if I remember correctly, it's just always Flash. How much normal logo I know. I'm such a noob when it comes to Venom lore. I know, or like symbiote lore in general, really. I know there's so much. And I really, when I was really paying attention to stuff like that when I was younger, it was mostly just Venom and Carnage. At least they're the only ones I knew. They're the ones I saw the most in media. 90s anime series made me terrified of Carnage. And I remember I still to this day can't find the Carnage toy I had that I remember so vividly, but maybe I don't remember it as vividly as I thought. It had to have been a Toy Biz of some kind, or like Spider-Man Classics line, like Toy Biz spin-off line they did, or something of that. But the Carnage was I remember the Carnage was absolutely terrifying, and I always loved Carnage for that. Nightmare fuel. Whereas like Venom's going on to be the lethal protector and stuff like that, like Carnage is just always a batshit insane menace, for lack of better terms. Pardon my French. And I love that. I think there should be, and I've seen like video essays on it before. I think there should be more, just like straight up bad guys. I think it's fine to have like bad guys where you can be like, oh, I understand their motive and this and that, even as flawed as it can be, I think comics and movies and everything in between really struggle to just have like pure bad guys where they're just simply evil people, if that makes sense. Like, I think that's why I really, really liked High Revolutionary and Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because that dude was just insane. He was just a bad guy. He was mean, he was psychotic, he was egotistical. And he didn't have a redemption arc, or even like a tragic, backstory or whatever. Just like, oh, this guy just sucks. And I'm glad they didn't kill him. I say it every time I bring it up. I'm glad they didn't kill him off, because he's gonna be a fun villain that like have hanging around. Who's he like? Is he just like for anyone who's got like deep comic lore? I wasn't too familiar with High Revolutionary besides his toy before Guardians 3. Like, who's his like main like opponent? I know he's like, the Marvel Legends came out on a Fantastic Four retro card, so it's like, is he a big time Fantastic Four villain? Is he like kind of like just like an overall Marvel villain? I did a little bit of research on him today. Death and Black Hole and I were bouncing ideas off each other for our stories, and little teaser, High Revolutionary may pop up in my story at some point. which is funny to say as I'm sitting here asking you guys more about him. Like I said, I started doing this, honestly started doing this research on High Revolutionary like an hour ago. Before I had to clock out of work and hop on the bus home. I actually took a scooter home tonight because it's usually faster. So on stream nights, I take a scooter home so I get home faster. Because I'm pretty close to work. I live pretty close, but even late at night, the bus takes a while because, it's a lot of stops for anyone who lives in major cities or has visited major cities. I have the train too, but admittedly the train's can be, not often, it's often over exaggerated, but the train can be a little sketchy at, midnight almost. Plus it's just, the amount of times I get hit with a ghost, but this is all going to be like terms no one's going to have any clue what I'm talking about if you guys don't live in around a major city or have public transit. But the amount of times I get hit with a ghost bus late at night sucks. Like on my app, I'll be like, oh, said bus is like 5 minutes away. I'm like, oh, perfect timing. I just clocked out. And then I check the app. I'm like, man, it definitely has felt like 5 minutes. And it'll be like, oh, the next bus is 25 minutes away. I'm like, dude, what the hell? So now I'll walk over to the train station because it's not too far from the bus stop. It's about 2 blocks, But it never fails. When I get hit with a ghost bus, I'll be walking to the train and I'll see the train pulling up and I'll be like, damn. And like the red line, the main train in Chicago runs should run like every 7 minutes. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like another train will be up there by the time I get up there. No, I somehow hit the delay bus late at night every single time. Public transit's great when it's consistent, but that all comes down to funding and stuff. We don't have to talk about that. My Doomslayer action figure came in and I can't put it in his other hand, so I'm gonna tear this figure if I can't put Carnage Joker, yeah. The Tomsters, what's up, bro? Noah Jones, the base figure is a monolith, I think his name is, from McFarland. Night, Tomsters. Good luck in school, man. What head am I going to use? This head. I need a paper towel. I'll be right back. Agent Venom. More nightmare fuel, exactly. Like I was saying in Saturday night stream, you inspired me, Black Hole, when you said that my Red Goblin was nightmare fuel, and all my symbiotes moving forward should be nightmare fuel. I was like, yeah, I agree. So hopefully doing nightmare fuel justice. So go ahead here and so now I'm gonna paint all this little I would say no. I had like the comic style Venom, and then everyone kept asking, "Oh, when are you gonna make a Venom for your universe?" And I was like, I don't know. I thought the comic style Venom I had fit my universe okay, and then but I had a lot of people be like, "Bro, you need to make Agent Venom. You need to make Agent Venom." So I decided, okay, Agent Venom it is. So I'd say Agent Venom is the main Venom in this universe. And I was talking to Black Hole about it. I think Carnage ultimately will be, or the Red Goblin for now. You know, as stories change frequently. For now, Carnage will be Red Goblin in this universe. It can and probably will change, as stories do, as comics do. This will fit their like overarching story better too. I've come up with an idea on how to introduce the symbiotes and the nightmare fuel that is Red Goblin and now like Agent Venom. I want to really lean into like the tech heavy side of like having these symbiotes laying around, you know, because I think that was like a cool idea that people gave me when they're like, oh well, that's how you can make Venom in your universe. And I was like, well, that's a good point, and I think the best characterization of Venom where that works is Agent Venom, so that's why. That's why we're here now. To finish Nightmare. What else you guys talk about in chat here? I'm glad you guys can keep yourselves entertained because sometimes I feel bad. I get the brush going and I get carried away and then I don't check the chat as much. So apologies for that. Hope you guys understand. I have a cool idea for I figured probably like a riot, because based off of like comics and comic panels I've seen, and the toys they've made for him and stuff. He's one of the bigger symbiotes I'm familiar with, and so I think it would fit this design I'm going for pretty well. I'll show you guys when I'm done with some of this and this paint is drying. We can probably even start him tonight, because if nothing else, we just get the base coat on there. It'll be convenient. Bree, hello, welcome in. Yeah, the Life Foundation stuff is cool. I wish they did a better job of that stuff in the Venom movies. I wish a lot of things were different in the Venom movies, but see ya, Mike. Thanks for hanging out, bro. I would say my favorite Venom host was Eddie. Only because it's obviously like the most popular one. It's the one I'm most familiar with. Pretty much every iteration of Venom I've seen is Eddie. I think it works well within the story. I like the idea of Mac Gargan being Venom at one point. That was cool, but yeah, ultimately I'd have to go with Eddie. What about you guys? So, who's all your guys' favorite Venom hosts? I'm sure there's a lot of varying opinions. Duck Gaming. Yeah, this is a Spawn franchise character. This is Monolith. I don't really know his lore. I don't know if he's even a relatively new character. I know McFarland will make figures of new Spawn characters pretty fast. I guess that's the perks of owning your own company, huh? You know when your new comic characters are coming, and you can just make figures for them. I don't exactly know this dude's lore. I just got this on sale, and I was originally gonna use this for a rhino. Actually, I was gonna revamp my rhino design. But then I decided I don't want to. So I held on to this. I was like, oh, do I just use this for something else eventually? Do I sell it? But I got the idea recently to use some of these like jumbo figs I bought. Everything I originally bought to update my rhino, I ended up putting together to make these new symbiote characters. So you'll see some of the armored bits from here are from a Overkill Spawn figure. That figure, or like that character, I know is old because there's like Overkill Spawn figures from like the 90s, 2000s era of McFarland Spawn toys. But Monolith, I think, is maybe a newer character. I know they're all like variants of Spawn, mostly. So I don't know if this. Obviously, he just looks like a enlarged Spawn. So I don't know if what his lore is. The figure I used for Red Goblin, the Haunt figure, like that wave of Spawn toys, it was like the Haunt, King Spider, or whatever, and the other creepy looking symbiote looking figure. And so it's funny to see like Spawn characters that take like heavy inspiration from like the characters Todd made while at Marvel. Yeah, Overkill. Okay, so he's a big bad. Okay, cool. I'm using parts of him for this Agent Venom. Did I see the new Doom figure? The Sorcerer Supreme Doom, or the one that the retro carded one they reissued? I think pre-orders for the reissue went up today. I missed it because I didn't have a timer on my phone, and by the time I got to Amazon to pre-order it, it was already listed at like $130. You know, scalpers, third party, and everything. But I was like, well, that didn't take long. That's honestly probably still one of my biggest regrets is, well, I guess it can't even be considered a regret. It was just like money was tight, and so I wasn't able to afford the Doom pre. You know, I had Doom pre-ordered the day it was announced, like years ago, from Mezco, and it was 150, I think. So pretty expensive. Shipped, it was probably close to 170. And at the time, I just couldn't afford it. I was just kind of in a tight spot financially. So I had to give up my pre-order, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll find it again or whatnot. No, never to be found again. Always sold out. Always on the used market for like $300, so like double the price. Like, hot take, is it even worth it at $300? Probably. That seems like the perfect Doom figure, but I don't know. Full transparency, if I found it even in the $200 range and I was at a good spot, a comfortable spot financially, drop 200 plus on a figure, I would get him for that much. 300 is probably, no matter how good I'm doing financially, is out of my budget. It's just a little much for just a 1/12 scale figure, but it seems pretty amazing. Maybe Mezco will release some more one day. Mezco doesn't really do re-releases, so for whatever reason, I guess their whole kind of business model, just like that, like manufacture or artificial like scarcity, is like so annoying as a consumer. But it works for them because every single thing they sell out, like their own intellectual properties, their licensed stuff, like everything Mezco makes sells out in some capacity. So they're doing something right, sadly. That's capitalism for you, baby. One figure that I got from I think my first Mezco was my first official Mezco was a Michael Keaton Batman Mezco, but I ended up selling it because I got scared that it was gonna like tear and like give out because of that like nylon they were using or whatever. Yeah, the new XP on YouTube, I have no clue. Thanks for hanging out, Duck Gaming. Appreciate it, man. And yeah, to answer your question, Zacho, that did happen with 2099. I did get one recently though. Were you around? I know you disappeared for a while, Zacho. Were you around when I was able to get my hands on Mayfex 2099? My friend was looking to get rid of his because he didn't really like it as much as he thought he would. So he was looking to sell it or trade it, and I had a couple things that he was looking for that I was willing to trade. So I traded him two figs and a couple bucks, and got the Mayfex 2099, and it's so good. It's so good. Definitely. You think I would learn my lesson with Doom, right? But and Daredevil. Daredevil wasn't like a missed or canceled pre-order. I just thought the promo shots and stuff didn't really blow me away. I was like, yeah, like that's a Daredevil I'm gonna skip. Like honestly, I was like, oh, maybe it was just copium at the time, but I was like, oh, the cell shaded like Hasbro Pulse exclusive Daredevil is I still have it in my collection. I think it's an amazing Daredevil. He wasn't cheap either. It was $60, right? Because he was in 2-back with Hydro Man. I was like, oh, this figure's plenty good enough. I love the cell shading. I'm used to the articulation, and it hits all the poses you want. And then Mayfex Daredevil came out, and I started seeing all the in-hand pictures, and I was like, I messed up. And then he sold out, and Then they reissued him, and he continued to sell out in minutes every time he got reissued. And I was like, great, I'm never getting a hold of Mayfix Daredevil. But then I saw someone selling them on Facebook for $100, and so I obviously bought that as fast as I could. And so after Doom, Daredevil, and now $20.99, I will not make that mistake again. Third time's the charm, right? Jeez. That happens, though. It's it's all a guessing game. You don't know what figure's gonna be good, what figure's gonna be not worth it. Where a lot of these figures go on pre-order like a year ahead of time, and then most websites don't take your money right away. So yeah, maybe you have the money at the time or anticipate you'll have the money, but you don't know where you'll be in a year. In the case of Mezco, waiting for Doom for over 2 years, I just wasn't in the spot I thought I was gonna be in, So it's tough. I think ultimately what ruins it more than anything else is the aftermarket and scalpers and people that buy up every last quantity they can, thinking they're gonna like get rich or something. And even if you do have the possibility to get rich, that just sucks. Don't do that. No matter what it is you're collecting or you're into, don't be that person. That's just not cool. It ruins the experience for everyone. Like for me, my girlfriend and I, when we have spare time together, we used to love going to like Target and Walmart. So like she used to love going on toy hunts with me. She always had fun. I'd buy her a little treat, a sweet little treat when we were out, and that would keep her satisfied. And then we'd go looking around for toys. Sometimes we would spend the whole damn day. We'd go out to dinner in between. But now, especially I guess living in Chicago and hunting in the Chicagoland area, where it's so densely populated and probably has a much larger scale of collectors and scalpers and everything in between, toy hunting just is not really fun for me anymore. It's like when the Superman wave was hitting Targets and this Target exclusive Red Cyborg Superman was coming to Targets, I must have gone to like, not even exaggerating, maybe 20 Targets in a span of no, that's even low. Probably 30 or 40 Targets in a span of like a week or 2 weeks. And I never found them. I never even saw a single Superman from that wave on store shelves. I never saw Bizarro. I never saw Cyborg Superman. I never saw Red Cyborg Superman. I saw remnants of like display cases. So, it was there in some capacity at one point, but it just gets gutted immediately. And then, it's partially McFarland's fault because of the way they do these chases and stuff. And there's so many people that can be blamed along the way. So, but ultimately, it just ruins the experience for like a regular consumer who just likes toys, Anyway, that's my rant on that. Sorry in advance. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you guys with my paintbrush. Whoops. Brad, what's up, man? Yeah, I figured you guys as consumers and collectors would understand. It just it just ruins it for everyone, truly. We all just want toys, man. We just, you know, people of all walks of life and ages and everything in between. We find comfort and enjoyment in collecting these toys, and like that should be accessible to everyone. To use something like this as a way to like try to like make a quick buck or something just sucks. It's just so disingenuous and crappy. And if you know like the worth of these things, then you're presumably a collector yourself in some capacity. So it's just like, just yeah, it's just like, dude, why would you do that to us as fellow collectors? You know. Damn, 700, 1200 is insane. Yeah, some of those crow figures are great too, dude. So I can see why you would want them, especially if you're a fan of the franchise. Favorite custom of my own designs? That honestly, that the more designs I make, the harder that question gets because I don't know. It's like probably so cliche, but like honestly, like probably the best way to answer that these days is like my next one is going to be my favorite one because I truly feel like they just like continue to improve each time I make one, and so it's really hard for me to be like, oh, this one's going to be my best one or my favorite one. I haven't seen the 2024 one with what's his face? Skarsgård, right? I've heard decent things. I mean, Skarsgård and isn't it Kravitz? Zoe Kravitz, right? Guess you can't go wrong. They're both great actors, but oh no. I mean, an absolute mess. This poor black mat's been through it. We're gonna need a new one. Luckily, this was cheap, so I can just buy a new one every couple of months, I guess. Best cheap airbrush? I honestly don't know. I'm not too well versed in airbrush stuff. I've never used one, so I truly don't know. There's probably way more informative and like good videos out there that can help you. I would be of no help because I've just never used one, so I'm just like pretty unaware of the best or what to even look for in a model. You know, if I were to just go shopping or even tell you like, oh, look for this or look for that, I don't even know what to look for in an airbrush, honestly. Sorry, I know that's probably a terrible, it's like such a non-answer, but one cool thing is, like I was explaining, when I started painting this thing up, what was it, Saturday night? Is I was a little sloppy with painting this thing black, so some of the black paint like got onto this like design, and it worked out well because then it gives like this several different shades look, and I think that looks cool, especially in the sense of like it's a logo or a living object, so it's not going to be like perfect one color all the way across, right? So nice. That looks really good. How many figures in my collection? I don't know an exact number. I definitely have a few hundred. Yeah, that's the best way to go about it, Black Hole. That's the only way you can. Like, no, I don't. That's like an excess, you know. I don't need that figure. And you just keep telling yourself that, and one day you'll believe it, maybe, you know. While we're waiting for this guy to dry a little bit, let's go ahead and revisit our friend over here. Our friend Victor. The hood's in a good spot. We just have to add some lighter green like we did throughout the rest of the tunic. We can go heavy on the hood too, because there's a lot of like creasing and stuff. Oof. Can't really tell too much, but just added a little dry brushing on there. So once that dries, we can pop it on the body. I think I'm gonna. So this was originally red to like indicate the whatchamacallit, but I think I'm gonna paint that green potentially. But I want it. Yeah, I know you do. Oh, wet palettes just keep the paint wet and really help like yeah, basically just like with keeping the paint wet and everything. So for like a lack of better explanation. No, I probably won't. I changed my mind again. I'm gonna keep it red. We're close. Last we did is where I left off. But everything is touched up. This is hardened on there now. I think I'm gonna run an extra wire, like from here to here. That comes out here, and then they come out on this side somewhere, maybe. But otherwise, it's pretty much painted up there, so we're good there. Thank you, thank you. I think this is coming out really good too. I'm gonna go on the edges. I purposely didn't paint. I'm gonna go on the lightest red I have on the edges to kind of like add some like good edging. And you don't see it. You'll see it like close up, but you don't see it on here. So it's probably not that big a deal. But there's a little bit of red overpaint in some spots, so I'll like try to go over that with black when the red's fully done. This will get like a glossier finish. I would usually do the nail polish, but because it's such a huge figure and the whole entire thing's gonna be gloss, I'll just gloss coat it with my regular gloss clear coat. I'll do like 2 or 3 coats of that. And then now make sure the paint doesn't chip. The arm's pretty much done already. I put the brown on there and that looks really good. I missed a spot right there, but the brown ropes look good. So I just have to touch up some of the paint on here, do some like brown wash, kind of like make it dirty, especially for the blue over paint on some of the parts here. Maybe add blood on here, little places too. Just some stuff like that. How long is this stream? Probably go a little bit longer. It's been a busy couple days for me, so I don't have a ton of energy to continue on with these projects. But even in the hour now we've been on here, it's we've made good progress. I've been dying to like paint the rest of the red on here and then work on some of the ropes on the arms for like days. So I'm glad we got to that at the very least. I'll move to the, while we're at it, let's do a bunch of brown work on these skulls before I forget, on the arms. We'll grab this really wet brown, real high flow brown. So that'll be really good to do a brown wash with. Grab this brush, get it a little wet. Because we still have a bunch of green. That'd be really weird if I accidentally put green on there. Okay, it's nice and runny. So we just put a bunch of brown on there. Perfect. Now we wipe it off real good. Well, not real good, but in certain spots. And that makes a huge difference, kind of, you know, in comparison. Really dirties it up, so. There's some of the parts back here where it's like bluish. That looks pretty menacing. And then we'll take this like, it's like a rust, but it's like really runny. And so this is like solid to like put into some of these crevices here. Adds another like different texture. Another like layer of dirt here. I'll just kind of like pat this one off a little bit. Just make it really grimy. Joe Mama, what up, bro? Thanks for stopping in and saying what's up. Always good to see you in the stream, buddy. Yeah, Black Hole. I thought about it. Now that I've like figured out a way to like do this paint job, I'm like, oh, that was like my initial thought, right? It was like, well, now what else can I apply this to? So yeah, that's why I was like, okay, well, let me do a bunch of symbiotes then, because I can just do like the same style, just different color, basically. So that's what we're gonna do with like Riot and all the other ones we're gonna make. We can do some similar techniques, different colors, and then it helps us get the same like general paint job down. It looks real good. So oof. That looks nice and gruesome. And then we'll add some blood on here once this dries a little bit. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and touch up the red trim on here with the brightest red I could find in my collection. Hopefully it's not too bright. It doesn't look terribly off. We'll go through with a finer tip. You think it'd be sick? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It could like translate really well to different colors. So we shall see. It looks to be somehow almost the same exact color. So that's great, I guess. Not exactly the style I was going for by painting the edges, but whatever, I guess. I guess it's slightly different, maybe. Maybe when it dries. Or maybe it's not even remotely different. Well, if it's not a different red, at least the edges are cleaned up now, huh? Lost track of where I was last. Symbiote dragon. That'd be insane. I read Spider-Man versus Godzilla today. It's just like a one-off. But it created God Venom, which is exactly what you think it is. And I was like, that is insane. Imagine a Godzilla-sized symbiote. Talk about nightmare fuel. Okay, I think it is a different color. Okay, that was a little bit of a different color. You can notice it more in certain areas. But I think that looks good. Yeah, I would say it's the stream's been going for about an hour and a half now, and how I get paint like no paint lines is, yeah, one, it's like good paint brushes, and two, like patience and just learning how to use the brushes properly, and then just lots of practice, really. What brand? Sorry, I'm just now noticing. What brand of paints I use? I use folk art mostly and golden acrylics, both just acrylic paint. Um, Nothing, nothing crazy special there. Since we got a red brush going, let's go ahead and add some paint or blood here. So Nightmare Fuel symbiote. Sorry, yeah. To answer that question, Nightmare Fuel symbiotes. Yeah, I got. The Joker Titan is definitely going to be part of it. I got the remaining parts of the Overkill, the figure we were talking about earlier, or a character, some of that will be involved. He'll be like the base for he's what I intend to use for the base of Riot. Some blood on there. Little itsy bitty blood. Use a darker red over here. For this original red I used was on the first skull was like almost cartoonish in how red it was. I gotta go over it with the darker red. All right, Poe's perfect. Good seeing you, bro. Um, Apple Barrel. I've used Apple Barrel. I still use Apple Barrel for my black paint, actually. So I think it's a good paint, and I endorse it. Maybe that red's bright. I put two different reds. Maybe that red's brighter because it's fresher. That's the lore I'm going with on that one. Clean off the brush here. Black hole. That's funny. Aww. Unboxing. What's up? All right. Cool. We're working on Ancient Venom. This is the arm, the bottom half of the arms. But let's see here. I think we're at a good stopping point. I know it's a little bit of a faster live tonight, but like I said, it's been a long couple days, so I've been tired. I looked forward to tonight so we could do this, but I also looked forward to the relaxation time and the not having to do chores time. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. But just always want to make sure I'm not pushing myself and burning out and stuff. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out on a Tuesday night. I know, especially now, as a lot of the younger fans of mine go to school, the Tuesday night numbers can be low at times. So the fact that some of you come in to hang out and then go to school and work and stuff a few hours later, thank you. I don't know that I would even feel comfortable saying I'm worth that, but I do appreciate it. For everyone else who comes to hang out, thank you guys so much. We made a lot of good progress. It might not seem like it, but we did. This torso is pretty much done. We just got to do some minor touch-ups and clear coats. Same with the arms. The skull is pretty much done. I want to do a little bit touch up on the brown, and then whatever black I might have to touch up because of it. I don't think any though. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. So the top half of this figure's pretty much done already. So yeah, like I said, we're making really good progress. But guys, again, as always, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for hanging out with me. There was supposed to be a video coming out tomorrow, but I've been having issues. I ran out of storage on my laptop making all these videos. So I have a hard drive coming in the mail tomorrow from Best Buy. So I should be able to get the Rhino video out this weekend. But as always, I'll be live Friday, and those are like 3 to 4 hour lives. So come hang out. In the meantime, check out the long form videos I have. Check out the short form videos I have. Check out my other social medias. And until Friday, I'll see you guys then. Thanks again for hanging out. Good night, guys.